Hi everybody and welcome back to the Ultimate Transformation Plan 777. My name is Laura. I lost 125 pounds in menopause without weight loss surgery. And I did get a breast reduction and I did get the skin removed. My baby pouch, that's gone. And so I gotta tell you guys, this is gonna shock the heck out of you. So what we're talking about today is keto versus low carb for getting rid of the last 10 pounds, whether you're in menopause or not. I was in menopause, I am in menopause, and it is way harder to lose weight when you're in menopause. I don't care what anybody says. So the idea of incorporating sugars back into my diet was the scariest thing I could ever imagine after all of the weight loss that I did. But I will explain to you why I chose low carb over keto for the last 10 pounds. Are you ready for this and why? So when I say low carb, I mean I increase my vegetable intake and I have maybe a piece of fruit or a piece of fruit and a half a day. Like I'll have a half an apple and then a half a pear and maybe some dried cranberries and nuts in a salad. I added that in. I was eating bananas for a little while, or half a banana, but I did find that it jerked my sugar levels up too high. Or berries, like blueberries, blackberries, those are all good. Raspberries, okay too. But good old-fashioned pears and apples, I mean, they're so easy and they're so usually inexpensive. And I came by this by fluke, okay? And at the last 10 pounds, this is where things really get harder because it wants to stick on you. And I think that the fat is quite interlayered. So like what happens over all the external stuff came off, but then like stuck to your skin. I wonder if I can stand up and show you. So I just ate a big bowl of soup. My stomach is all puffed out, but stuck to your stomach in here is where it's harder to get that inner part of your fat ish. Yeah, I just ate a big dinner. So anyway, I'll come out when this series is done and I'll put on a bathing suit without a full stomach of food, and you guys will be able to see it better. But inside, especially in certain areas of your body, stomach, maybe thighs, maybe arms, it is harder to get the deep fat out of there. And the only way to do it, in my opinion, well, there's two ways. That's by really lifting up your exercise efforts. There has to be something sweating it off. And we're going to get into the 7 different kinds of exercising routines that I've come up with to help with this, or weightlifting, both. So adding an extra 500 to 700 calorie burn a day into your previous schedule of weight loss efforts, and we hadn't been really working out very hard, depletes your body a little bit more. And here's what happened and why I had to switch up. I can't even quite remember how this began for me. I think what happened is I was sick one time and I was trying to get back to working out after being sick, and I allowed myself like a little bit of fruit, like a piece of apple, a piece of pear, before I started like my workout, my second part of my workout. So I still have my keto coffee in the morning, and then I came back mid-morning, say 11 o'clock or so, and I allowed myself a little bit of glucose in. And what happened was just a little bit, as long as it's not like jolting you out of your main food intake, which is usually going to be more based upon your proteins and your fats. But I needed more vegetables and I needed more fruit in order to get my energy up for me to handle the workouts that I had to handle in order to kind of hack at that subcutaneous fat. I'm not a scientist, but I'm, when I went to my surgeon who did my tummy and I was talking to him about it, and he goes, that those layers are deeper and they're really, really way more difficult to get rid of. It's going to be taking 5 times the effort than the previous amount did. But as you guys have gotten to know me, if you've not gotten to know me, if this is the first time watching, I'm a pretty tenacious person, and I strategized and I thought, okay, well, if it's humanly possible, I will find a way to get this last 10 pounds off. And so here's what happened with my workouts. So I was going ahead and I was doing the hill thing in the morning, and then when I went to go and do any elliptical or any high cardio or any weightlifting, I was finding my energy levels were not enough, not where they should. And I also was finding I was getting hits of anxiety and depression, which is so opposite to what I had experienced so far, because up to that point I had, I hadn't been working out so hard where it was like putting a lot of stress on my body. And when you do increase your workouts, you're gonna stress your body more. And it's just turned out to be what my body needed. It needed more bulk, it needed more salad, and it needed more glucose in order to have that water and have that glucose back into my system, where I was able to get my energy levels up. It was almost like as soon as I had a piece of fruit, my anxiety and my depression lifted. So for whatever scientific surroundings you want to put with that, there's probably people that know a lot more than me. All I could tell you is it is like a boost that I needed in order to get up to the next level exercise wise. And that is what began to hack off my last 10 pounds. And I was shocked, because I thought if I touch more vegetables or if I touched any fruit, then I'm going to get hungry and I'm going to not be able to lose this 10 pounds. So I'll explain why that didn't happen. So my theory, it's just a theory, my theory as to why that didn't happen is because up to all that time that I had put in on the keto diet, on the keto vegan diet, on the histamine diet, on the slim fast diet, and now on the low carb versus the keto diet. I think I've named them all. I hope I have. If I haven't, I'll look it back up. But anyways, low carb versus keto, hardcore keto. My body had already kind of depleted out any insulin resistance or any fatty liver or any upset sugar levels. So when I started to put back just a little bit more carbs and a little bit more fruit, it was ready for it. And I didn't have anything left in my system to hack away as far as like internally. My gut issues were really, really doing well. And that boost of energy makes you work out so much harder, makes you burn off so many more calories. It offset the bit of sugar. But I still was very careful about not letting the sugar be the first thing in my mouth in the morning. That is the key. So making sure you stay keto for your breakfast so that your sugar levels stay, at least for the first 3 hours. And then a hint of glucose for your first workout. And then you're going to really need some more electrolytes when you need to go, if you're going on to something third. Like I was going on to doing Pilates on the TV. I was watching that Shelly, her channel, over 50, can't remember the name of it completely. Anyways, she was doing Pilates and arm workouts and stuff like that. And I was finding my energy, I couldn't get through it. So I had a little bit of salad, that bulky, the complex salad with some seeds and maybe some dried cranberries inside of it. And maybe a couple little tiny slices of pear, and whoop, my energy level went right back up again. And I was able to get through that workout. And then I was also able to follow that up with an 1.5-hour walk. So that did the trick. So in my opinion, putting those in the middle of the day, putting that little bit of glucose, a little bit of carb in there during the day was key. In the evening, I would revert back to my like vegetable fat combo soups with a touch of protein inside. Sometimes I would just have the vegetables because there were days I just felt like eating lighter. I leaned in lots and lots and lots on fish, and then I lowered it down to one of those keto bomb snacks in the evening time, because this was filling me up, and like the avocado, a little bit of avocado in my salad was filling me up, and I was used to eating pretty lean. So my suggestion at this point in time, if you're down to your last 10 pounds, is those are hard because they're deep, and it's going to take a little mountain moving in order to get you there. But in the mid, from like 11 to 4, allow yourself just a little bit more raw veggies, a little bit more carbs, a little bit more maybe dried cranberries or berries into your midday, so that you can get through energy wise really, really well. But it's not so much that it's going to like boom up your hunger hormones. So when I say low carb, I'm not talking about picking up bread. I'm not talking about picking up rice. You might be able to get away with a touch of sweet potato now, like a couple little chunks. But don't go further than that, because all that's going to happen is you're going to get too hungry, and it's going to make you starve, and you're going to be hungry at like 3 in the morning. You're trying to keep your hunger hormones down by giving you, but yet still giving you that energy that you need. So in my opinion, that is the strategy to go for losing that last 10 pounds. And you're going to have to get onto something that makes you sweat hard. You need to get that deep, 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 deep fat lifted off, and you're going to lift with a little bit of weights, and the two combined, lots of steps in your day, the two combined will start to chisel out the deeper fat. And even if your weight is not moving so much, I want you guys to check your measurements before you begin this part. This will be astonishing to you, because you know how they say about the weight of fat, muscle weighs more than fat. Well, not technically. A pound is a pound is a pound. So if you've got a pound of muscle or a pound of fat. But the difference is muscle is much more condensed and tighter. So, it's tight, little like this, instead of fat being spread out like this. So it gives you the appearance of slimmer. So that's all we're after anyway. We don't really care about the number, right? We care about the fat spread and the softness being gone. So if that is the case for you, if you can't get the weight off, measure yourself really carefully on all your parts, and watch when you start with the elliptical, the one with the arms, and with weightlifting, and watch your shape. You'll shape shift now, but you have to stay at it, and you have to stay at it 6 days a week. If you really need a day in between, take it. If your body's telling you you need a rest, take it. But if you can get yourself moving, cardio and at least weightlifting 3 days a week, you will notice some chiseling start to happen. And that is my suggestion, and it worked for me. I even in the end ended up putting back up 3 pounds, but it was 3 pounds of hard-earned muscle, but my measurements were way less. So I knew for a fact it was muscle, because it does weigh the same as fat. It just presents itself differently on your body, and that's why you could take 2 people at the same weight, and one could look like flabby and jello-y, and the other one could look cut and abbed out. So there's the difference. I hope that helped you guys, and we are definitely into home stretch on the diets. I am going to do a triple count, make sure I've got all my numbers right. But we're moving into maintenance, I know that for sure. And I'll show you what I did for that. Talk to you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye for now.